Hi everyone. My name is Temera Yule. I'm coming to you from Scotland. Hi everyone. My name's Tamara Yule. I'm coming to you from Scotland, and I wanted to add to the conversation on Web3. Cindy Niles suggested that we all get involved with this conversation because it is potentially the future. Potentially being the operative word, depends whether or not we allow it. And I'm trying today a slightly different format. I'm going to be reading, so I've split my screen, and let's see how this goes. Please do forgive me. This is the beauty of genuine alternative media. Okay, so what is Web3? According to avast.com, which is the resource that Cindy used on her live video, prime Web3 examples include ubiquity, decentralization, artificial intelligence, blockchain, connectivity, and lots of other words and vocabulary designed to distance you from the true definition. My first graduate job was part of a training scheme which netted me £160 a week for the pleasure of a business card that said Deputy Editor of Computer Headline, which was a Glasgow-based IT trade magazine. And I didn't let the fact that there were only 4 members of the team and 2 of those were admin and sales get in the way of feeling momentarily very accomplished. But what did get in the way was that I didn't know anything about IT. So I really didn't know what everyone was talking about, and it was a bit awful. It was just about the time when e-commerce was coming to the fore. And I look back and I laugh because in the moment I couldn't comprehend, and I had no confidence in the conclusion that I kept coming to, that what e-commerce meant was selling stuff online. And if that's what they were talking about, why didn't they just say that? Anyway, I risk boring you with that little bit of autobiographical reflection because I think that Web3 is similarly fraudulent in its presentation. I think we can understand it, and we have to understand it, because if we don't, Arnie is not coming to save us. So here's my interpretation, and if I'm wrong in any way, please feel free to correct me. And in doing so, we will open up this can of Web3 worms for everyone to digest. Maybe we can even get funding from the UN for eating bugs. So first there was Web 1, then there was Web 2, and now they're pushing Web 3. You still with me? Web 1 was when we had static pages. So the internet was like a vast encyclopedia, but you couldn't leave comments or buy anything. Yeah? Then came Web 2, which is where we are now, where we can interact online on social media and buy stuff. And that's kind of the operation and the functionality that we have at the moment. Now, because they're always trying to think of ways to make more money, and please remember that this is entirely motivated by greed and a desire for control, even though you haven't asked for it, and even though they gaslight you and tell you that the reason that they're developing it is because you asked for it, and even though I think it will make our lives worse and not better, they're trying to introduce Web 3. And what can Web 3 do that Web 2 didn't do? According to Avast, the main distinctions between Web 2 and Web 3 involve data storage, connectivity, currency, and decentralization. Web 2 is about creating content and interacting with websites. Web 3 means immersing yourself in the digital experience, and it involves concepts like individual control of personal data, cryptocurrency, and decentralized record keeping on the blockchain. Always makes me think of, where, the guys who were hitting hammers on, their long chain. And yeah. So let's break it down. Data storage. Rather than your bank, this is how Cindy explained it to me, rather than your bank storing all your data on their servers and your estate agent saving it on theirs and the doctors selling it to the highest bidder, storing it on their servers, rather than the data being saved in that way, it's going to be saved on an individual personalized blockchain. So think of like a chain coming from you, and your digital ID will give you access to your blockchain, and every interaction that you have online will be stored as a discrete chunk of information on a database, which is now centralized to you. So every time you search for something, every time you buy something, it will create a discrete chunk of information that is part of your chain, which is all attached to you. Okay? So when they say that the new system is decentralized, I think that's a bit of a misnomer, because it is actually now centralized to you. I think it's even more centralized. All the information on this blockchain will help to create your digital twin in the metaverse, so that when you're not stressing about your every interaction being tracked and traced in the real world, you can go and relax under the constant surveillance of your digital alternative. So Web3 is about having your own blockchain, having an avatar, and ultimately being able to use some sort of digital, only being able to use, sorry, and only is the operative word there, only being able to use some sort of digital currency to transact online. I'm sure there's more to it, but those are the basics. And the question that you have to ask yourself is, do you want Web3, or are you quite happy with Web2? Are you happy not being tethered to a blockchain? Are you happy to have the option to use fiat currency, real money, rather than some sort of crypto alternative? Do you want your children to suffer the temptation of escaping their reality for a fake alternative? Do you want them to only see the Eiffel Tower and the Grand Canyon from their bedroom, where they're sat with their eyes and ears covered, totally alone, going absolutely nowhere? Now, they're pushing Web3 at you, because if you accept it, they can render your children powerless. And I really think that's important to realize. If your children have covers on their eyes and covers on their ears, then they're going nowhere, and they're certainly not going to be able to rise up and make the world a better place. So that's it from me. I'm going to go, so that it's short and sweet, and hopefully something that you can share. Certainly you don't have to share the video, but share the information. Take ownership of these words, because they are so not beyond you. Yeah? All right. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye. Bye.